like, well, that's nice. That sounds like it would be good, but we're gonna go in this direction and buckle up. What the What are you gonna do? You could sit and cry in the corner, or you just get to work, right? Apron's off, we're gonna talk. So grab a snack, maybe grab some laundry, go do your dishes, I'll keep you company, grab a drink, and we'll spend some time together. Hey friends, I'm getting socks on my feet. My toes are cold. I thought I'd give an update on what the heck is going on and why did we move? I want to tell you about the whirlwind we've had since 2 days after Christmas. So I know I left a post on my community tab here on YouTube of what happened and on Instagram. A lot of you didn't catch it. First off, I want to say thank you so much for all the comments on all the socials, for the support of the move, the encouragement and tips and just the love. Like seriously, like it meant a lot. So thank you. Moving was not on our 2025 bingo card. It was 2 days after Christmas. Derek got a text. Kimmy, you're not gonna believe this. And my stomach dropped. And I had a feeling I knew what it was because for months I've been saying to Derek, I guarantee that the landlord is going to sell this house. It was just this feeling I had. And he's like, well, you stop putting it out there. I'm like, Derek, you know me, my spidey senses, my like intuition, things that come to me usually come true. And I'm like, whoa, I have a feeling it's coming. This obviously was not what we wanted. We had 30 days to be out and our lease was up the end of January. So it made sense why he said the 30 days. You're kidding. And I just started bawling. And then immediately I jumped on the computer and I was going to all the sites and looking for homes. I was like, oh my gosh. So I had my cry, got online, started looking. I got a lot of comments about, wait a minute, I thought you bought this house. You were renting? And tons of those comments and questions like, wait a minute, I thought you bought your house. It's funny what you guys come up with and interpret. If you noticed on a year ago when I posted that, we moved video, I didn't say that we bought or rented. This is what I said. We weren't going to move until July. But as you all may know, renting or buying a home right now is absolutely insane. And here in Utah, it's bananas. It's disgusting how much rent is and the house prices. But when you find a place that is in your price range, you gotta jump. You know what I'm saying? We're still searching for our dream spot. Yeah, I just don't feel it's anyone's business to put all of our life on the internet. This is what I've learned over the 12 and a half years I've been here on YouTube. And the goal was to be there for at least 3 to 4 years. They were looking for long-term renters and they wanted someone to take care of the house. So they lowered the rent significantly. Some things he was gonna do, the landlord, and some things he wasn't. And he really just wanted someone to take care of the house. We're in a position where, like, yes, that this works perfect for our 3 to 4 year plan of where we want to be, where we want to buy our next house. We're looking at land, do we build or do we find land that already has a house? While we're saving, it was like, this makes sense. Being right here makes so much sense and it felt so good. But then come the fall time, I was just like, oh no, I felt it. I'm like, brace for impact, but we did not think it would be like within that year. So I was anxious to sign our lease and it didn't happen, obviously. That crazy time after Christmas, the day after Christmas until like the new year, when it's that vacation time and you don't know what day of the week it is. And you're like, what am I doing with my life? What's going on? What day is it? Oh, tonight's New Year's? Yeah, that's me all the time. So during that funk, we get this news, right? Well, what was the biggest thing I was facing at that moment was not, packing and moving. It was, we had 6 days left with our son while he was home on leave from the army. He is very far away. I wanted to make the most of the time that we had with him. I didn't want it to be me freaking out or packing the house, and I just wanted to be so ever present with him. And I didn't want that to be clouded with what we had to do. When he wasn't around, we were online looking at houses, going out looking at houses, calling, making appointments. Some houses, which very conveniently, like a realtor box on the door and you punch in a code and you can get the key out and go see the houses, which was so nice. The next day after we got the news, I had a full-on panic attack. Unbelievable. I haven't felt my anxiety like this in a long time. And if you're new to the channel, I have like really bad anxiety. I have ADHD and anxiety, and they're best friends, and they're like, ooh, let's screw things up for her. Let's make it hard. They have a wonderful relationship. So I deal with anxiety. It's been great the last few years, but man, it was like, boom, it hit me, and I was crying, unbelievably crying, heart pounding, the racing thoughts, and I like panicked, and I didn't want to call Derek upstairs. He was really trying to hold it together, the stress of everything. You know, he was dealing with end of the work stuff with work. We were dealing things that were happening with our manufacturer. It was, some of you know that got the planners, like machines broke down, things that were out of our control. And it was like one thing after another. It was like punch to us, like punch, kick in the gut. And there were things that were out of our control. So the best thing we can do in that situation was like, this is out of our hands. Our manufacturer is doing everything they could possibly do, right? So it was like, contact the customers, mass emails. Just Derek was like customer service. And then having to deal with all the end of the work things, you know, for the end of the year that he has to take care of because he is a manager. And so it was like all this stuff that he had to do. So I didn't want to call him up because I knew he was already trying to hold it together. And I didn't want to like put my anxiety on him. So I got on the phone and I called my mother-in-law, and I was like, talk me off the cliff. So my father-in-law and mother-in-law just, you know, were talking to me and just kind of trying to get my mind off of it. We said a prayer over the phone. And then Derek came in right when I was like calming down. Like it took a while. I was on the phone with him for a long while. And I just didn't want to add it on to him. But we totally leaned on each other during this whole time. But it was just in that moment where I was like, I don't want to give this to Derek. I let my body have it. I fell into it. Just let's get it over with. Let's release this energy because we have got to hit the ground running. There's a lot to do moving forward, and I'm not carrying this anxiety and panic with me for the next month. Nope. I let myself surrender into the panic attack. Let's get this over with. So I'm very thankful for my in-laws. And then I sent my mother-in-law this funny like meme, and I can't think of the lady's name. I'm gonna show it to you if I can right here. She's hilarious. How she was eating the cake. I posted it on my Instagram and I sent it to her. I'm like, this is how I'm feeling right now, and I could totally go for some cake. And we went to her house, and when we walked in, on the counter was a beautiful, yummy, round chocolate cake from Costco. Oh my gosh, I love Costco's chocolate cake. It's so good. And so there it was. And so I got to have my cake. I thought that was super sweet. Thinking of everything that we have to do. Yeah, you're like, oh, I got to start packing, right? No, I got to take down Christmas first, and then we could start packing. And I didn't want to take down Christmas. Derek and I started to put Christmas up right after Halloween. This was the first year we ever did it, and we loved having it up. And the house looked beautiful, and it was cozy. And we were like, hey, let's keep this up for like at least a few weeks after the holidays because we were enjoying it so much. So no, we couldn't do that. And once that was done, it was time to pack. You know, it's great to know that in these moments that we're not alone, and there are people that do want to help and reach out. We don't have to do everything on our own. So when we were packing up on New Year's, Shaylee had friends over. She had a little get together. So our friend, when she came to pick up her girls, she was like, hey, if there's anything I could do, you know, if you need any help, she said that she has a trailer and a truck, and like an enclosed trailer. I'm like, well, we have a truck. My father-in-law has a truck, but can we borrow your trailer for a few weeks? That way we could start packing boxes and labeling them and just get them moved into the garage and then into the trailer so we can like have space to get all this done. And she was like, yeah. So I was so thankful for that. I had friends reaching out like, where do you need to look for a home? You know, we'll keep our eye out, you know, we'll look too. And so it was great. I was getting texts from people. So that was nice. And I did make a post on my Instagram about boxes. If anyone had any boxes, I guess my nephew's girlfriend's mom follows me on Instagram because she saw my story and she let my sister-in-law know like, hey, we just remodeled. And I guess they packed up a lot of areas in their home. And she had like 30 something Home Depot boxes, medium and large, in her garage. And she was like, they're yours. And I'm like, oh, do you know how much money we saved by that? Oh my goodness, that was such a big help. We actually found this house through Derek's cousin. She was like, hey, I just saw the sign in my neighborhood for this home. She sent the picture of the address. We looked it up. It wasn't on a few of the sites that we were searching on, and it wasn't coming up on the one site that it was posted on for some reason. It was so weird. Then we found it and we were like, this looks like it could work out. So we came to this neighborhood. We love her neighborhood. Oh my gosh. We were looking everywhere, you guys, in our area, everywhere. And the cheapest place to rent is like far out from where we are right now. Yes, the rent is cheaper, but the amount of driving we were just doing back and forth from there, the amount of money we were wasting was unreal, that we were like, no, we need to stay in this area. We know we're going to pay more for rent, but with all the back and forth with sports and in different activities and work, we were like, no. Let's make it about convenience. So being in the area that we are and wanted to be in, rent is so much more, you guys. Utah is ridiculous. I got asked so many times, like, why are you renting? Why don't you buy? To buy a home right now in Utah, you're going to have to put down over $200,000. Between the interest rate and what the homes are priced at right now, and to get a loan where you don't have mortgage insurance, you're gonna have to put over $200,000. This isn't an exaggeration. Like, the times of putting down between $30,000 to $80,000 on a home are gone. Now, I could go into the whole reasons of how we got to this point, but I'm not. I do go over it a little bit in the update video that I did. It was the video where I was sitting down with this background too. I mentioned a little bit in there, you have to catch it. We're basically starting over. And because our plan that we set into motion when we left the first she's in our apron house got blown to smithereens. So when we moved to the rental insurance, the thing that they say they were going to pay for, they backed out and said no. So then the thing you thought you were going to be paying 40% of ended up being 100%. And then we moved from there to our in-laws apartment, which was a godsend, okay? A godsend. We still paid rent there, but nothing like we were before. Heavenly Father was so good. Doors opened, opportunities happened, and she's in her apron. At that time, like, my income, like, we paid off this loan that we had to get, and we paid it off within a year and some months. Like, it was a freaking miracle. And then as soon as that was paid off, all of a sudden my she's in her apron, like what I was making, slowed down. But on part because I slowed down, because there was no fire under me. There was nothing like pushing me, you know, there was no fight or flight in my mind, right? But I thought, oh, well, great. If we do what we did last year, then we will have the money to put down on a home. That thing that went around in 2020 happened. Tons of people from other areas of the country were moving here, paying homes in cash. The real estate market here went through the roof. And now our plan exploded. What are you gonna do? You could sit and cry in the corner, or you just get to work, right? And that's what we did. Kept going to work. Walk forward. That's our family motto. Just keep going. Keep going. We got to keep moving forward. Is this sucking that's happening right now? Yeah, this sucks. Try not to look back, right? Because that's not going to do anything, right? So when we found the last home that we were in, it was great. It was fantastic, you know, and it just worked out with our plan. And then poof, this house felt really good. You know, we went home and we prayed about it. And we went to church here that next Sunday to just see, like, what's the ward like? What's the dynamic? Do they have a lot of teens here? What's the feel when they see someone new in the congregation? They were so welcoming. They were like, hey, are you new? And we're like, maybe, you know, we might be signing this lease. We're checking out the ward, the neighborhood. Boston has friends in this neighborhood that he already knew about, which worked out really good. This ward has a ton of teenagers. So when we were there, Boston's like, I know that kid and that kid and that kid and that. And then Shaylee's like, they go to theater with me, or, you know, I know them. And so it was like, oh my gosh, this is fantastic. And so we went to class. It just felt so good. And we already knew somebody that lives in this neighborhood that goes to our church, our ward. He's like a brother to us. Yes, we know somebody, which is always nice and comforting, right? And so it's just like, oh my gosh, this feels really good. We signed the lease on the 15th, but we knew for like at least a week before that we were gonna do this. The managers had the walls all painted, the carpets cleaned. And so on the 15th, when we came to sign the lease, I came in with my cleaning supplies and I started cleaning. I mean, the house was clean, and then you have the painters come. It was great. I didn't have to do major dusting or anything. Like, none of that. It was so nice because I have to clean the other house really good, right? Before we leave. And so it was so nice just to come here and just clean the bathrooms, right? And I brought things to set up the house a little bit. You know, I brought toilet paper and paper towels and tissues. And then Derek showed up with the trailer and we unloaded that trailer. But in my car, I had all the kitchen stuff, the majority of the kitchen stuff, so I could start unpacking. So after I was done cleaning, I started unpacking the kitchen and trying to figure out where I wanted things. So this happened so fast, you guys. When I say this happened fast, it happened fast. Within like what, 2 weeks of getting the news, we already were signing a new place. Now it sucks financially because I already paid January's rent, and now I have to put it down, right? And we have to pay, well, we got prorated, so half of January. So it was like this amount of money that was not budgeted to right? So where are you gonna get it? Where's it coming from, right? So it's gotta come from savings. It's added as expense to the gut. It was just like, come on. It's like right when you take a few steps forward, it's like, how many steps back? I need lipstick, guys. You know, I've lived here out in Utah for, how long have I been married? 26 and a half years. And I've lived out in Utah 27 years. You'd think I'd be used to the dry weather. I have to have stuff on my lips constantly. So just all these things were hitting us. And we're like, of course. Of course. Derek and I always look at each other when things happen to us. We're like, of course, that makes sense. Things are going too good right now. Of course, that makes sense. But like, this has been our life. Like, we don't drive this bus. Like, we're always like, God's in control. He's the driver. Things that Derek and I have wanted to do, he's like, well, that's nice. That sounds like it would be good. But we're going to go in this direction and buckle up. Oh, my word. I don't know. Can you guys relate to that? That's us in a nutshell. So when we signed and we started moving in, it was like, okay, I feel good. I feel really good about this. We're doing this. And it was like, all right, full steam ahead on the house, right? So Jonah at this point was already gone, and so it was like packing. What don't we need? Get that packed. We only had so many clothes out because laundry is your biggest like pain in the butt during a moving process. So it was like 5 outfits in a church outfit, 2 sets of jammies. So it was just like pack in rooms. We started with rooms, and then as soon as one room was done being packed, it was cleaning. All of the carrying and lifting and packing, all the action that my hands were getting.
That's what she said.
Sorry, you guys. I have like the dirtiest mind. I swear. It's so bad. Becky's probably dying right now. Hi, Becky. I love you. So with everything I was doing with my hands, my carpal tunnel flared up, just like on the last move. So my carpal tunnel doesn't always flare. It's like when I'm doing too much. So of course it flared up, but at least I didn't bust my finger like I did last time in the kitchen. Do you guys remember that? I was setting up the kitchen. I was reaching for the bowls. The weight of the bowls brought my hand down, and then the weight of the cabinet door, and just crunch. Oh!
You okay, baby? What happened?
Oh, God. Ugh. Didn't that sound horrible? It was just the worst. And so I didn't have any of that. So that was nice. So we signed, Wednesday was the 15th. And so on that Friday, we had friends come over that helped us move. It was great. Family and friends came and helped. My friend Denise, that some of you guys know, her boys are amazing. So they came, and their girlfriends came, and it was like they got into my food room, and we were packing the food room, which, let me tell you, is a feat, moving the extended pantry. But I like using the crates that I have. Those are fantastic because we put the food in there, we put some things in boxes, we put some things in buckets, and we got things off those shelves so fast because I thought, oh, let's get all the big furniture, like our bed, this thing's a beast, and all the big things, and I can come back and we could do the extended pantry. We could do the food room another time. And they were like, no, we're here. And it was like boom, boom, boom. And then getting everything into the house that needed to go into the basement. Oh, we have an unfinished basement, you guys. It's fantastic. Like, we have more storage here than we did on the last rental. Like, so much more storage. I can finally bring back to this house our Harvest Right freeze dryer. We had no place to put it in the last house. So when using it, we had to, keep it at our in-laws and use it there. But I could bring it back here. It's just, oh my gosh. having space. So our food storage is down there. And so we opened the window to the basement and they were just bringing everything in through the window. And so we had family here helping. So that was great. And we did a lot that Friday night because it was supposed to snow. So we wanted to make sure that we could get, like, if Saturday was going to be a bust, that, you know, we could get as much done as we possibly could. We ordered Domino's pizza for everybody. And so when they got to the house, the pizza was there. And then Saturday, the weather was, it wasn't too bad. So we were able to still do a big move. On Saturday, we had family members. We did the refrigerators, the freezers, and the food room shelves. It was great. We had our friend's enclosed trailer, my father-in-law's truck, our friend's trailer. And so we were just able to get so much done that weekend. So after that, it was just going over, filling up our car with all the other things that, I don't know, you know, the last stragglers of moving? It was that. And then we just cleaned and cleaned. And so I think it was like on a Friday, the second to last Friday of the month, I like started in the back corner of the house and worked my way down, like deep cleaning the house because, you know, we want our deposit back, and we actually left the house better than it was when we signed on it. You guys, you don't want to know what I found in Vent's cleaning. I found a diaper. It was bad. Yeah, no wonder why he wanted people just to take care of the home. So we left the place better than when we moved into it. So that night I did a ton more, but the next day I could not do anything with my wrists. I couldn't even hold a pen and write. So my mother-in-law, you know, she finished for me, but everyone was helping. It was so great. And it just didn't feel like we were in this alone. And I'm just so thankful for everyone that helped. And then all the advice you guys were giving me during the move, like I read all your comments and I was like, hey, Derek, this person says to do this, and so many helpful tips. So thank you. So now we're here, and we hope we're here for another 3 to 4 years like we wanted our plan to go in the other home. And if not, then we're here until the next chapter. We really like the house. It feels really good here. The feeling in the home is very good, and that is so important. I mean, you guys, when we walk through some homes, the feeling in there, you're like, Not that the house wasn't the right fit, you know, it was just the feeling in there. You're like, yeah, no. We were in one house, we could not get out fast enough. I looked at Derek, I'm like, we need to leave. He's like, yep. And then and that wasn't even an earshot of Shaylee. And Shaylee stayed by the front door when we toured this whole house. And she was like, can we go now? It does not feel good in here. I'm like, oh my gosh, she felt it. And so we were like, yeah, we're out. Like, we're not getting this house. This home just feels really good. And we're very thankful that we're here. And the ward, like the church, they have been so warm and friendly, so helpful. We have never experienced this moving into a ward. Well, maybe the ward we were in the first She's in Her Apron home, but not since then. No, this ward has like filled that, so far is filling that void that we were missing and wanted again, like we did in where we left originally, the first She's in Her Apron home. And I'm just like, thank you, Heavenly Father, thank you. We're gonna be here until they kick us out. So, or until we can finally settle somewhere. We just don't know where we want to be. Who knows? I don't know what's in store for us. Derek, that's so funny with Derek and I. We never know what's in store for us. We just feel the promptings and we move forward. And we needed to be where we were in the last house for reasons, and I can see why, and I can see why we also had to move. Like, yes, someone else's decisions and actions made us move, but it was a wise thing because of where we were stuck. Things that were going on personally for each of us and for the kids. Like, it was a good thing. I should be literally having a hissy fit right now with all the changes, and I'm not. Because Heavenly Father has been seriously with us each step of the way with every decision that's happened, every avenue, direction we had to go in. He has not left us. Doors have opened. I'm not saying like a door's gonna open being here where like financially like we're gonna like fall into this money. No, but He has never left us destitute. I think when you just keep going, have faith, like He puts people in your path. Have you ever noticed that when you're going through something, either a move or you're grieving, like all of a sudden this person pops into your life and you're like, where have you been? Like through this whole journey, the last 5 to 6 years, he has been there. Even if I haven't felt him, like, because sometimes you can get thrown into a depression and you get numb and you don't feel anything. It doesn't mean he left you. It's like your body and your mind is going through so much when you're in a chaotic situation that you kind of just get numb. But he's there and he's going to put people in your path. And that's what happened these last 5 to 6 years. Like unreal. There's people that I'm like, where have you been? Why haven't you been in my life before? Because we needed them at that moment. And I see it all. And I remember when we moved, usually like when our first Cheese in our Apron home, when we moved I think it was 5 years ago. I don't even know. It was 2019. And usually the homes in the neighborhood at that time were selling within 24 hours to 2 weeks. Our house did not sell for 6 months. That doesn't happen. Our home was one street over from the temple and everybody loved that area. That area is amazing. The home sold quick. Not for us. Of course not. Not for us. And 6 months it took to sell that house. And we were already renting in another place. But we thought the house was going to sell soon, so it was no problem. Like if it was a month or two of paying rent, fine. No, it was 6 months. And at that time, we were making less money than we are now. And we were paying a mortgage and rent. I don't know how we did it. Like I look back at Derek, how did we do it? And he's like, I have no idea. We just kept moving forward, paying our tithing, just having faith of like, he's led us here. It's going to be okay. It's going to be rough, but you just can't sit on your butt and cry. You got to keep moving forward, figuring out how you can change things. What can you do? And he did not leave us destitute. And I know that being here, even though it's a little bit more money, I'm not worried. It's like, it feels good here. It just feels good here. And I'm very thankful, honestly, for the whirlwind. I don't know. We all kind of just feel better here. And so I'm excited to see, how the kids grow here. I mean, they grew tremendously in the last year at the other home. But, the people that they need here, I'm excited to see how that's going to work out for them. It's like I'm excited again, where for a long time I wasn't. And I don't know, I just feel good. Like my soul feels good here. So we'll see what comes. So that is our update of what the heck. Yeah. So Derek left work. He's on his way home to me. Yes. So yeah, sometimes in our life, the unexpected happens, right? It's not what we wanted, wasn't in the plan, wasn't in the cards. So what can we do? Yeah, have a cry, get it out, get all that energy out. That's what I did. I'm excited. I'm excited for what's to come, even though Derek and I are like, okay. But hey, we're thankful to be here. But I did get a lot of questions of like, why couldn't you move back into your in-laws? Well, they are like the nicest, generous people. And when they built that house, they built the apartment underneath it specifically for that reason of why we moved in. For family that needed a landing spot, right? So it was like a whole other house underneath. And we were there for when we needed to be there. We were there for 3 years. Could we have stayed there? Absolutely. Could we have stayed there and, still paid them the rent, which wasn't a lot, but still be able to save for a house? Yeah, we could have. But it just didn't feel right. We felt like we needed to move. And we did. And there were people that came into our life that our kids needed. And I honestly believe that move was for the kids. But then it switched and it was like, no, we gotta go. So yeah, we could have, but we didn't need to. They were the biggest help while we were there. Very thankful for them. And so another family member and his family are there. It just works out really good. Yeah, I'm thankful for them and their generosity. They've been amazing and they're awesome people. So I did ask you on Facebook and my community tab if you've been in a situation like we were in, and man, I've got a lot of comments. I just want to acknowledge you guys. Oh, I love how Gems of Grace said that she has been in this situation once, prayed a lot, confided in close friends and family that I trusted, and tried to give myself extra grace. Mainly through it was just sticking close to God. He is my strength. Absolutely. I hear you on that. We are so not alone. Connie says that just this past August, my in-laws had to move in with us. What a major change. I was getting to finally retire at 73. Then this is what happened. We turned our formal living room into their living area. Oh, that's a good idea. And formal dining room into their bedroom. The half bath right next to the formal dining/bedroom has changed into a full bathroom for them. We all lived through the construction, the dust, inconvenience of making makeshift bathroom in a room just off the hallway from the laundry room. They weren't able to go up the stairs at all, but with prayers, fussing, and me wanting to run away, we all got through it. That's why your videos have come in helping me shop, store extra food, and cook recipes. You have to get this done. You have helped me out. Thanks, sweetheart. Oh my goodness. I'm so glad I could help you. Yeah, so this is why I love teaching about growing a pantry. It has been the biggest lifesaver through this journey for us. It was, in 2019 and 2020, not just because of, the thing that was going around, but I just felt prompted to build our food storage more. Thank gosh I listened to that, because with everything that we had to walk through, our extended pantry has saved our hiney so many times. And that truly is the purpose of it. It's there for you when you need it. Shop your shelves every day, but when life gets cuckoo and you have to spend money, more money that you weren't expecting, you have food. Either 2 weeks more food, a month more food, or which I always talk about, at least 3 to 6 months of meals in your home ready to go. So thank you for sharing that, Connie. Oh man, His Glory 768. She's dealing with the loss of her father. Oh, and the situation that you're going through. I'm so sorry, sweetheart. I am so sorry you're walking through that. Thanks for sharing with me. Amanda says, yes, a number of times for my husband's work. One time we were very close to putting an offer in a home, and his job just ended and let him go. We lived in Georgia at the time, and he found a job in Iowa. So we had to quickly rent in Iowa. So a lot of tears and prayers in what got me through. Oh my goodness, that is scary. And we never mentioned it. When we were living with in-laws that first year, Derek and a lot of other people got severance packages. So Derek got a 3-month severance. But we were even though we were there in the apartment, that didn't mean we weren't panicking, because we had goals. We were like, oh, snap. Could he get another job? And he had to find out if he signed a no-compete. And it was oh my gosh. And so the panic, I can't remember how long it took him to get another job. And so it's yay, we have that severance, but what if it went longer? And we have all these goals, and we have things that we're already paying on, Our food storage, we didn't have to worry in that area. It was it was there. We built it for this situation. But we've been in that situation, and having our food storage, it was there. Things were set up. Our meals. I think one of the biggest things when we're going through a crisis, especially if it's financially, is how am I going to feed my family? Well, building that extended pantry step by step, not all at once, in the methods that I teach, it's there for you when stuff like this happens. Just an FYI, I am working on a pantry guide for you guys that'll be released in March, and it's going to help you so much. It is jam-packed. But knowing how to shop, or knowing what to put in your pantry, what is something in a pantry guide you would like to see in a guide? What things do you want to know? Do you want to know when to shop for something, sales cycles, what's in season, how to organize something? What would you want in a pantry guide? I've got a lot in there so far, but I might be missing something, and I would love to know what you think. Brittany says, yes, about 8 years ago, my hubby's contract didn't get renewed. He's a clinical engineer, and the hospital he was at led us to believe they were renewing the contract. We had to scramble to find a new hospital and move. He ended up signing a 2-year contract with a hospital in Southern Oregon. We were in Texas when the first contract ended abruptly. We have now been in Oregon for 8 years and love it. We had to leave it in God's hands to where he wanted us to be. We never thought we would move across the country, but it's been the best thing for our relationship. We have grown so much closer. Yes, being away from family is hard, but we have been able to do so much more since living here. That is amazing. What a blessing. This is something you didn't want to do. I'm sure it put you in a panic, but the fact that it drew you guys closer is fantastic, right? And sometimes those situations, it could pull you apart, but the fact that it drew you guys closer is so great. Derek and I, the things that we have walked through online, Derek read that 73% end up in divorce. But then talking in person to the therapist and things, they were like, no, it's close to like 85 to 90% end in divorce. And the fact that we were walking through it together and staying close, like, wow, it's hard, right? It can either pull you apart or bring you in closer. And the fact that it pulled you in closer is fantastic. Sounds like you guys are a good team. Oof. Sweet Brandy says, in 2018, my husband's job was closing and they let us know 2 days before Thanksgiving. At that time, I was shaken. We had been there 15 years with a child in school, but it was fate and sent us where we were meant to be. And I learned that no matter how hard you claw into comfort, if God wants you to be somewhere else, he will make it uncomfortable and kind of painful until you have no other choice but to let go, embrace it, and let him lead. Oh, yeah, Brandy. Amen. Oh my goodness. Yes. Little did we know we got into our dream home for an unbelievable price. Everything worked out better than we dreamed, and I truly believe you can't catch new blessings if both of your hands are full of what you want to keep holding on to instead of letting him lead you into your blessings. Oh my goodness, I love that. Let me say that again. I truly believe you can't catch new blessings if both of your hands are full of what you want to keep holding on to instead of letting him lead you to your blessings. Brandy, thank you so much for saying that. I love that. You got this. You're being led to your blessings, and it's beyond your control. You know good things will come out of it in the end, even if it feels like the worst at the moment. Also, chocolate helps. I agree. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Brandy, for that message. I am going to always remember that. Thank you. Angela says, in 2017, our house flooded in Hurricane Harvey. A few weeks later, I delivered my stillborn daughter via C-section and had to have an emergency hysterectomy. 3 major blows in less than a month. I took one day at a time and talked to God a lot. Sometimes I questioned him. I didn't and still don't really understand why any of it happened, but it did draw me closer to God. Oh my gosh, Angela, I am so sorry. The fact that you are still drawing close to him is amazing, because I don't know what I would do in that situation. I'm impressed that you're still very close to him. I don't know what to say, and I'm afraid to say the wrong thing, but wow, Angela, I'm so sorry for your loss. I truly am. This is from Blopez383. Hello, Kimmy. The move in August 2023 was beyond chaotic. My husband was promoted. However, that included a move 2.5 hours north of Phoenix, Arizona. We lived in our home for 23 years, and now we move at the age of 65. Wow. I had no time to grieve. I humbly prayed one morning with every cell in my body with tears and accepted the move. I prayed for help, moving company, and forgiveness. I did not want to move in my heart. At that time, my grandfather clock began to chime. To me, that was a sign. We only had 3 months. The house, packing, and moving company came together. A few people we had known showed up that day, along with friends and missionaries. I saw all these people and just cried, plus the moving company with 3 men, not to mention discounts given for being senior citizens. We moved out in less than a day, plus a few followed us to Flagstaff to unpack. A friend of mine came to the house with drinks, snacks, and food. We all prayed before packing, blessed our food, and travel. I believe in prayer. Yes, it was chaotic, but we had a community to assist. Our Heavenly Father knew we would not be alone. Glad you and the family made it safely. Thank you for everything, Kimmy. If you ever visit Flagstaff, come for a visit. Aw, thank you. Wow, that is a lot. And to leave what you have known, like, pretty much your whole marriage, right? 23 years. Wow. Thank you for sharing that. This is from Angela. She says, in March 2019, I moved my girls and I to my former in-laws. We left an abusive situation. I only told a handful of people and only packed what we really needed. It was hard, but I knew it was the best decision. My situation is different from yours, but we took it day by day. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry you had to go through that, Angela. And that's all you can do, right? You walk forward, you take it day by day, moment by moment. And this is where anxiety comes from. It's like, you don't know the future and we're such planners. And it's like, well, what are we going to do? It's out of our control. And sometimes we just kind of have to just let go and let God. And yes, take it one day at a time. That takes a lot of bravery to leave a hard situation like that. And I hope all is well with you and your girls. Wow, this is from Shannon. She said, we had a family tragedy back in November, and the only thing that helped me manage through everything has been my significant other, my family, friends, and therapy. Yes, therapy. Oh my goodness. Without the support system, I don't know where I would be or be able to continue to help others and my mom manage without her husband of 26 years suddenly. Thanks for sharing that. I'm so sorry for your loss, but I'm glad you have, loved ones there to lean on. And man, I'm so sorry you had to go through that.
Oh,
Hi.
hey, what type of treat does Boston like?
I got the kids like a hugs and kisses combo box I found at Smith's. So one side is kisses and one side is Reese's peanut butter cups.
Perfect. And I'm not going to worry about it.
Yes.
That's why I called.
Yes. Now I just
Perfect. Okay.
now I just got to remember where I put them.
Nice. Well, I have a card for Boston and for Shaylee.
You're the best because you know I suck at cards.
All right. Well, I grabbed the whipped cream and the cards. I'm gonna check out now.
Okay. Love you.
Anything else you need amongst this chaos for Valentine's Day, which is beyond me?
Oh, I hate Valentine's Day. You know that. I hate it. No, I just needed the whipped cream.
Is that for dinner or later?
Both. It's for dinner. You're naughty.
All right. Love you.
I love you. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye. I love him. Let's see what Facebook had to say. Oof. Man, reading through these comments, so much lost, unexpected deaths, and my heart just goes out to all of you. Sally, I'm so sorry to hear about your grandson, and Sandy losing your husband. Thank you. I'm like reading all of these. You guys, if you want to read these, go to my post page here on YouTube and She's in Her Apron's Facebook page and read what everyone's writing. Like, I'm going to sit later and look through all of these and comment on them. Thank you for sharing your experiences and being vulnerable and putting it out there. I think it's great to know that we're not alone going through something, if it was planned or not planned, and you can lean on each other or ask questions like, how'd you get through it, or what's your advice? But I pray that this new year goes better for everybody, a little more smoother. But no, you're not alone going through something. If you need to go talk to someone, find a therapist, a friend, we're not alone, and I don't want you to feel alone. So if you are going through chaos, what do you do? How do you cope through it? What have you noticed that has, people or things that have come into your life during the chaos? What have you noticed? Or maybe you've never really sat back to take the time. Notice those little miracles that are happening around you, even though you're like freaking out. Because we're not alone. He's not going to leave us alone. Like, he will have doors open for you and people come into your life. And I would love to know your stories. What have you seen that have unfolded for you? I would love to know. Yeah, so this was not the hand that was dealt, but we're going to get through it. So that is the update, you guys. That's what's going on. And but I'm excited for the content that is going to come out. Let's see what this whole new journey here brings for our family. Lots more of these sit down videos are gonna come. I miss just sitting down and talking with you. I hope you got some dishes washed or your laundry done, and thanks for visiting with me today. I hope you're doing great. All right, I'm gonna get my apron on because today is Valentine's Day and we're gonna make a Valentine's Day breakfast. So I gotta go chop up some strawberries. So thank you for joining me. I appreciate you. Bye.